Now, Piper, I don't tell anybody your business. I don't know why you think you got to be telling everybody my business. What's up?
Because it's funny.
Oh, and the cat's here. Does he have a cradle and a silver spoon? That is the question.
Cat, do you want to go in the cradle?
Heck of a banner to start the show with. And talk about Ultra Force. No, we're not going to talk about Ultra Force tonight. Unless you don't buy this book.
Uh-oh.
That's the key. You got to buy this book. I'm going to...
Oh, no, we lost the dude.
Where are you going? Come back.
He heard Ultra Force and he's like, I gotta get the hell out of here.
I can't hear anything.
Uh-oh.
Shoot.
Oh, no. We destroyed him.
The intro music destroyed his ears, you
I
guys.
can't hear a thing. Hold on.
It's a nice hearing he had once.
Oopsies.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we do it live. This is how the sausage is made. You know, I guess we need a...
I think I'm good now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Still can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Yeah, check your settings. And while you're doing that, I'm going to play some clips.
Shoot.
Fat broads and horse-faced lesbians.
Uh-oh.
And now he's gone all together.
Oh, no. I hope he didn't think we were talking about him.
No. He laughed.
I know. I'm playing, dude. Lost my mic, but we can hear him.
Yeah, we could hear him. He couldn't hear us.
You need to adjust his headphones, his output source.
Yeah, there we go. Are we good now, sir?
Yes, we are. Very sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, if that's the worst thing that happens tonight, we're going to be good to go.
I don't know. I could have a bunch of horse-faced lesbians trying to break down my door, but you know.
Oh, that's true. And if that happens, we'll just
kind of depends on what they do as to whether or not that's a good or bad.
Oh
thing.
well, yeah, that's true. If that does happen, we'll just play this clip for you.
What are you trying to say there?
It's all because it's always your fault. That's what I'm trying to do.
I want to see some of those difficulties, boys.
Definitely tune in tomorrow.
Now the question is, do you want these kind of difficulties?
Depends. Are there some whips and chains in there too?
You know, considering Antonio Bryce and his sexy parties, there could be. I'm just saying, you know, he's hotness and not so much. Oh man, so how you doing, dude? What's up?
I'm holding up okay. You know, got my almost 4-year-old son is sleeping about 10 feet away from me. You know, life's not too bad, all things considered. And I certainly hope everyone else, you know, who is struggling through this, who is sick or lost loved ones, you know, God bless and hang in there. We will get through it. And, you know, just I hope everyone is doing as well as they can.
That's right. That's the best way. That's the best way to be. You know, there's and I say this: if you have to go out in public, like if you're going to the grocery store or something, you know, thank the people that are working there. Those people, the essential workers right now. They're keeping things going for us. So,
and everywhere I've gone, man, they look more stressed than usual, for sure.
Yeah, I bet.
They are exhausted.
A friend of mine sent me a text today. They were asking how I was doing, and they work at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'm like, comparatively, we're fine.
Yeah,
you know, I said, and I told her, I said, just remember, I'm praying for you. Stay safe, you know, and we'll get through it. That's the best way to be.
I have to go back to work Friday, and I'm one of those essential people. So it's
what do you? May I ask what you do?
I work at the internet.
Okay.
I keep the internet going for everybody.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So he's essential as that. You know, he's kind of
that definitely is
they didn't
essential for sure.
They didn't call us call center. They called us when I worked there, they didn't really call it call center. They called us problem solver. You know,
Of course.
of course, my problem solving was like, oh, you got a scratch on your furniture? We'll turn it. We'll return it. Let me ask y'all's opinion on something. When somebody buys a brand new product, like say a dining room table, right?
Yeah.
It arrives with a scratch on it. Do you really want somebody telling you that we'll send somebody out there to fix it, or do you want to say we're going to send you another table?
How do you even fix something like that exactly?
Well,
If you tried unplugging the table and plugging it back in.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, reboot the table, please. All right, take the leaf out and put the leaf back in.
Have you enabled your table's Wi-Fi access?
Now, granted,
what we'll do
Have you
come
checked
down.
the gas tank? Make sure there's fuel in there. Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll come down, we'll sand it, and we'll revarnish it for you.
Yeah, really.
at that point, you might as well just get a new table, right? But yeah, what it is, I'm sure you've seen it. Like people come in with those little touch-up things. The I call that little stain paint they put on there to try to touch it up and then try to buff it in. And the perfect world, you'll never notice there was a scratch there.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't live in a perfect world, do we?
Alan Fergan there. He works with top men. Top men.
So everything I'm understanding is that you're the top.
Yeah.
If he works for the bottom, he's the
I can fly like an eagle and strike like a hawk.
Huh?
That's lyrics from the song The Top.
Mhm.
I come up from the bottom and into the top.
Well, now this stream is unmonetized.
It's
Speaking of songs,
a
the guy who
yearly
did,
song. They never claim anything.
Okay.
Speaking of songs, the guy that did Stacey's Mom, which is he passed from complications due to CV-19.
Well, damn it.
Terrible. Just God rest his soul. It was that's such a fun song, fun video too.
That song is the bane of Stacey's everywhere, though, which is
Not
hilarious.
fair. He should have died being suffocated between the thighs of Stacey's mom, like everyone imagined.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not as bad as say having a phone number like 8675309. I mean,
They don't give that number. Nobody's allowed to have that number anymore.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess too many people were calling it in their area code to see if they could
Yeah.
get a Jenny. Yeah, is Jenny there?
So, Dad, how did you and Mom meet? Well, there was this song.
And I randomly called it just to see what would
You know,
happen.
I wonder if at least one person has that story,
Yeah.
Or at least one couple did. Or did.
Because wasn't Jenny's number scrawled on a
She's a
wall
hooker.
somewhere, like for a good time, call Jenny?
Yep.
Like, did somebody has that story? Well, how did you and Dad meet? Mom meet? Well, I was taking a shit. And
Maybe not like that. I meant more has that story as in I was decided to prank call this number in my area code and ask for Jenny, and it turns out that there was a
Jenny.
There was a Jenny, and it was your mom.
And we talked for a little while, and she was kind of hot, and
Right?
we got married.
Like I bet at least one couple has that story. At least one.
A Drunk Ed has a story.
See, you know what's funny is I know a Stacey, and the reason she hates
what would y'all do if he said he
So-
preferred Stacey?
Well, if he was the same, the song implies that Stacey's the same age as the guy.
Yeah,
singing,
it
so
implies that he was gonna date
the
Stacey.
video does not.
Oh,
it does.
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
a
okay, but
12-year-old like pool boy, and then like a 12-year-old daughter.
yeah.
Who's the woman who played Stacy's mom in that? I remember it was
A porn star, if I remember right.
a porn star. I don't think it was a porn star, Mike.
No.
Google
It was Rod Stewart's former wife. Really tall, leggy blonde. Of course, that describes just about every rock star's wife. So that doesn't narrow it down. What was her name? Gosh, I want to say Rebecca was the first name, but I don't think that's right.
Rachel Hunter. That's
Rachel
what.
Hunter.
I knew it started with an R. There you go.
Yeah, I remember.
Rod
her.
Stewart's ex-wife. Huh.
Yeah, Rachel Hunter was hot.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, now you probably go look at her now and you're like, oh, that's a shame.
No, she She's all right.
Stacey, can't you see? Sex is better when there's three. I know it might be wrong, but I want to threesome with Stacey's mom.
Oh.
You know, she still looks pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. Maybe not even if crackers was the dog. So.
Okay, yeah, she's not bad. Yeah,
Damn.
because you got to remember when you do a search, you always got to put like their name in today and not just their name, because then you'll just get the, So we'll show some off. I mean, face wise, she's not too bad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
She's still kind of got that classic hot chick look too. That's
Yeah,
cool.
She just turned 50 last year, and she doesn't
okay.
look too bad. So
no, yeah, she's looking all right.
Piper, do you remember the lady from the old Morris Fitness World commercials?
Oh my goodness.
She was almost 60 and she looked good like that.
Yeah, that's true.
We're gonna start getting. I know. I think it's John Malin who gets a little antsy when women start getting. It's like, as soon as you say like 50, he's like, "Ooh." Like, hey John, I hate to tell you, buddy, but you're getting close.
You know what you is? You is G MILF.
Leave Peter Gilmore out.
it's like, hate to tell you, John, but they do tend to know more about what they're doing. What does this thing do? Nah, none of that stuff.
Drunkhead says, "Damn, I hope she's a cougar." Wow.
They say the older the grape, the sweeter the wine.
What was that song?
Fine wine only gets better with age.
What was that one from? Was it Friday?
When Malin's 60, he's gonna change his tune.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, man, chicks in their 50s are hot.
Yeah.
I'm just plowing through these 50-year-olds. It's crazy.
Well, he's got those, fake eyebrows.
That just drives those old ladies wild.
Yeah.
Man, we are inventing the new Gilfmore.
Gilmore Malin War. Right.
Nose and touching hips.
Well, you remember Dark Gift? He made that little fan art of Peter Gilmore in bed with the Golden Girl.
I have not seen that.
It was so good. Gilmore was so mad.
Gilmore's the most fun when he's pissed.
Yeah, exactly. He's just like he gets mad and you hear him just go, "God damn it." Oh.
Somebody's streaming right now?
I'm sure a lot of people are streaming right now.
Yeah, they do look at you as a daddy, and the question is, do they need a daddy? I remember there was this movie that William Shatner did with Eddie Murphy and Rene Russo, and I don't remember the name of it. It wasn't that good. It looked a lot better in the preview than it did in the movie, but they had a couple of the bloopers and stuff at the end, and there's this one where this really hot looking young woman comes up to William Shatner, and he looks at her and he goes, "Do you need a daddy?" And she replies, "Oh, Bill." Rene Russo standing right there starts cracking up, and William Shatner looks at her and says, like 20 years ago it was, "Oh yeah." Now it's like, "Oh, Bill."
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, somebody. Yeah, if you're asking Xavier, like, yeah, War Campaigns live. Who's the other one? Raging Gold Eagles live currently. So, yeah, it is.
Get those links out there. We're selling books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. So let's sell a book. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah.
And here it is. Tilt.
Yeah, I'm at 1077. It would be great if I could at least get over 1100 by the end of this broadcast. And do you
want us to use the Ultra Force bomb? Because we can do it.
What's the Ultra Force bomb?
We basically will force the chat to watch Ultra Force if they don't back the book.
well, I'm all in favor of torture, methods of torture. So yes.
Let's do this.
Queuing it up now.
Yeah, we'll get it ready. We'll get it ready. Okay.
Ultra Force is primed.
You can, if you want to, you can play the commercial. If not, I will just start talking about the book.
I love. Well, I said no one ever, but
it's rather unprecedented. But we could start.
We'll watch the commercial because I was watching the other. Well, we were on together when you played it during Mandy's stream.
Yes,
week.
sir.
This, guys, if you haven't seen this, is hilarious.
oh yeah, it is.
It's freaking
I love
hilarious.
it.
So let's watch this real quick. That's a 3-minute one.
Ladies
almost
and gentlemen, available now at Indiegogo. From Hog Wild Comics comes Tilt, a tale of justice. Or is it revenge? Jennifer Polar is in danger. After mobsters murder her father, they are out to get her. In the afterlife, her dad begs a spirit to help, and the spirit grants Jennifer the power to make the kings, queens, and jacks in a deck of cards come alive to protect her. But it comes with a price. She must use that power to eliminate the mobsters. The kings, queens, and jacks are ready to get it on. But what about Jennifer? Indeed, this comic book is the real deal. A plot that takes no prisoners, characters who don't emotionally validate each other. You suck, you jackass. And plenty of non-approved body types.
Whoa.
Social justice warriors will hate it. But you think it's fun.
Oh,
I love this.
Created and written by David Doc Hogg Hogeberg, who shamelessly uses his cute toddler to hawk his comic book.
I do not.
What about this?
Oh, yeah, that. Well, that was just a kid who happened to be sitting next to me.
Yeah. Okay. Illustrated by the Brazilian stud, Marcos Lima. Okay, cool it, ladies. Lettered by the indefatigable, indispensable, and indisposed D. Jason Meadows. And finally, colored by the sexy karaoke queen herself, Lenore King.
Yay!
Put me on a plane. Hurry, 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 before I go insane.
Take a look at these killer perks. You can have the standard cover, or the variant cover, or both. Other perks include a pinup designed by Lenore King, a deck of cards designed by Marcos Lima, and at the very top backing tiers, you will be drawn into issue 2 of Tilt with the option of choosing your own method of execution.
Oh, yeah.
You can be stabbed in the back. You can have your throat slashed. You can have a dagger thrown into your eye. Or you can have your head chopped off from the nose up. Tilt is a tour de force. Indeed, the objective, unbiased comic book critics have nothing but praise for it. Like Doc Hogg's girlfriend.
Oh.
The awesome comic book creator Jeremy Locke, a.k.a. our boy Great Locke, said that reading Tilt was so powerful that it was like getting hit with a 2x4 in the face. And last but not least, kids who are so cool they wear 3 pairs of sunglasses while eating donut holes say it is awesome. Whose kid is that, Doc Hogg?
Would you just finish the promo like I'm paying you?
Uh-huh. You should probably pay your kid.
Yeah, I'd probably only have to pay him donut holes.
Available now at Indiegogo. It is time for you to get tilted. Whoa.
Oh man, that's so good.
I know.
I hate it. Let's watch it again.
Whose kid is that anyway?
I'm glad you guys like it because I don't have a real. I don't have a lot of confidence when it comes to whether or not I can do funny. So when people enjoy it and laugh, it's it actually means a lot to me, and I appreciate it.
Well, I mean, it looks great to me. I love that you've got Lenore working on it. She's a buddy of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
She's a sweetie.
Yeah.
Yes, she's so cool, people.
There was a question here. Someone asked if it was, I think it was the, was that your boy Zach on the left? And I think they're referring to here the, if you want to scroll down a little bit, we'll scroll down to the page, the opening page. So yeah.
So down.
There we go. Someone asked if that was your boy Zach on the left. I don't think so. I'd have to specifically ask my artist, but I don't think my artist is from Brazil, so I'm not entirely certain.
Don't think he knows who he
probably doesn't know him, and if he does, he probably doesn't have a picture of him because it's actually kind of there we go. Yeah. No.
I mean, I could kind of see it, but you know.
But that dude's got a butt chin and Zach doesn't. So
yeah,
you good.
Maybe more this.
Yeah.
Damn. Get all this stuff. I got to get some of this stuff from my YouTube channel.
Yeah, StreamYard's with the paid version is great.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, all kinds of.
No, that is just. I don't even remember who he. We like the main mobster in the middle there, Johnny Ricca. He is definitely modeled on Tony Soprano. The other two, I don't know. I mean, I think we were just throwing around some pictures, and he just, I wasn't. I just wanted to, him to come up with something, and I liked what he came up with, and yeah. So no, it was not modeled on your boy Zach.
At least not intentionally, right? Like,
no, I mean, if it was, it's a character that's some of these characters eventually get killed. I mean, I'd be more likely to model them on Renfamous. I don't know, but not not your boy Zach.
Yeah, I mean, but
So let me just give people the story here with
sure.
what is Tilt.
Scroll back up.
And there's actually there's a pretty brief.
Yeah.
And basically, it's a story where, as I said in the commercial, her dad is murdered by mobsters and basically begs a spirit in the afterlife to to protect her, and the spirit gives her the ability to make the kings, queens, and decks in a deck of cards, and not just any deck of cards. It's her dad's lucky deck of cards that the police give back to her after they decide they don't need it for
She can only do it with those cards.
There you go.
Nice.
And but the price is that she has to use the cards to eliminate the mobsters who killed her dad. And the reason I called it Tilt is that if you play poker at any length, you will hear the term tilt. And basically what it is, and this is on the opening page, it's basically a mental state in poker in which your emotions dictate your play rather than logic and reason. And usually what happens is that you're way, way, way ahead in the hand. Your opponent has like a 5% chance at best to win, and they catch their miracle card, and you see a big pot going from you to them. And that is Jennifer's character arc in this. This is going to be a 3-issue one. Is going to go from, you might remember in the commercial, she's, looking scared in one, throwing up in another. That's her initially, when she first has to do this, she's, pee her pants, throw up, can barely do it, to eventually she's going to get off on the adrenaline rush that she gets when, they go out to murder the mobsters. So that's going to be her character arc in the first 3. Her weaknesses are that she's somewhat impulsive and somewhat reckless, and either one of those emotional extremes, it's those are bad weaknesses to have. And with regard to Tilt, since I've been a very serious poker player for a long time, let me just tell you the worst bad beat I ever took. I had a pair of 7s. I raise, guy next to me re-raises, everyone folds. I call, flop comes, first 3 cards come 7, 4, 3. Okay, so I have flopped top set, 3 of a kind. I know the guy next to me did not raise me with 5, 6, so he does not have a straight, So I check to see if I can get him into a trap, and he shoves all in. All right. I'm like, yes, I call. He turns over. Doesn't even have a pair. He has an ace and a jack. Okay.
Ooh.
I've got him dead to rights. Except the next card is a deuce. The next card is, and the final card is a 5. All right. So he ends up with a straight ace 2, 3, 4, 5 to beat my set of 7s. I later ran the numbers. I was a 60-1 favorite on that flop.
Oh, dang.
I went on tilt, lost the rest of my chips, then bought back into the tournament, which was a mistake because that buy-in went really quick too. And then I got kind of smart and went home.
Dang.
So that's the only turn I've ever taken. So
You said, "Dear diary,
Yeah.
gambling is not my strong suit."
not today, anyway. So
This was Micah when you were doing all that. He's like, "No, stop."
very cool.
Did you run into anybody when you were gambling look like this?
I have really run into some weird people gambling. Trying to think what was some of the weirdest. Well, the worst is to sit next to a guy who stinks, and when you're in a tournament, it's very hard to. I've sat next to some guys who probably have not taken a shower in like 3 days. That's always fun.
You smell ass and all that good stuff.
All of that. And let's see. Then there's always, the late nights. After a while, I stopped playing late night because someone would always get drunk and throw a fit. Of course, it was always fun when, a guy would be upstairs and his woman who was drunk would come up and she'd be mad at him and start screaming at him. And a bunch of, it'd be like, "Jonathan, you son of," and we'd be like, "Jonathan, put a ring on it,"
Anybody find it funny that a guy named Statistical Zero is worried about numbers? We love you, brother.
I do love situations like that, though, with playing poker. I remember I did a tournament with my workplace back when I was enlisted, just for fun. There was no money involved. I went from being like dead last to being in the top 2. I just completely turned it around. Mm-hmm. And you sometimes you get swept up in that. And you get there's no reason for you to go all in to call, but it's getting late and you're feeling good, so you just call with everything and you lose.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but my best not my best showing, but my best in terms of prize money ever. I was we were at the elimination part, and I took a bad beat and lost a bunch of chips, but and just had to start shoving with not bad hands, but not good ones. Like one, I went all in with a pair of deuces. Snap called, and I'm like, "Ah, crap!" He turns over an ace of king, and he didn't improve. And so my deuces won that hand, and I just started making a comeback, and I ended up in second place, and that was my best cash score ever. So those things do sometimes it does turn it around, and I've had cases where I started out just on a monster run, and then within like 5 hands, I got flushed down the toilet. You just never know.
So it's really crazy when you can actually you see and you feel the momentum, and it becomes a thing, and it kind of carries you through your next couple of hands.
Mm-hmm.
Or a couple of games, depending on how it goes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very, very much so.
I just want to point out, as usual, what's been going on lately. I didn't see the notification for this.
Yeah,
boy.
That's been.
We need to start using that tag to let people know the show's going on.
Yeah, we're gonna need.
Not everybody's on. The ones that are really coming in late or missing entire shows are honestly mostly people that aren't on Twitter.
Yeah, a lot of people who are missing us because they depended on YouTube to give them notifications, but YouTube's not giving out notifications because YouTube doesn't know how to do work from home. Apparently,
Just remember, we're usually weeknights at 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me. I'll talk a little bit about the covers here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So go ahead and I think we need to scroll up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is the standard cover, and this was drawn by Jordi Armengol. He's in Spain, and I actually contacted him today to see how he was doing. He's doing good. So
good. Glad to hear that.
Yeah. And in the front is the main character, Jennifer Poehler, holding up a pair of aces, and those.
She's very healthy, by the way.
Yeah. Yes, very much so. And then behind.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let Mike go. Let him go.
One of these days, he's going to tear his dick off.
Take cover, Arizona.
Incoming!
Ew.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So, Mike, what are you doing next Friday night? Anyways.
Really being in Garrison right now.
Yeah. Okay. So from left to right there, you've got the Queen of Hearts, the King of Hearts, and the Jack of Hearts. And then in the background, the aces that she's holding up, and hail, sir. The aces that she's holding up and the SUV in the background that's on fire are actually related. The non-face cards, she can. What she can do with those is she has to think about something related to the cards and then throw them. In this case, there is a scene where they have taken out some mobsters, but one of them escapes. The Jack of Hearts says to her, we need to get out of here. And she holds up the pair of aces and says, hang on, let's see what we can do with these. And as she throws them, says pocket rockets, which is what a pair of aces are called in poker. But what she's actually thinking about are rocket launchers. So the Jack of Hearts gets these rocket launchers, and the guy who's escaping the SUV gets blown up. So
that's cool.
And it's a nice splash page that he holds on. He's just looking at the rocket, the launchers, and going, oh yeah. And then you turn the page, and it's a SUV blowing up and everything. So we need approved body type. Why do you hate women?
Where are her organs?
well, dude,
I can obviously see where she's keeping them. I mean, come on.
And let's see the other cover, the variant cover here.
Right. No. This one?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was drawn by Jeff Craven, and that was kind of a case of, as I'm sure creating comics, sometimes the ideas come to you fairly easy. Other times it's a royal pain in the ass. And this was a case where I had Jeff lined up to do the variant cover, and I'm trying to come up with an idea. Jeff's throwing me some ideas, but he only knows so much about the comics. So, it's up to the creator to really have the handle on the ideas. And finally it hit me. I'm like, David, this is about, this is a story that deals with cards. Why not a house of cards, and you have various people on the front of the cards? You've got obviously Jennifer at the top, the Jack of Hearts on the second level. To her left is one of the hitman that's actually on the other cover. That is going to be Jack Tessio there. We decided to give his card the number the 7 because he's kind of doing a 007 thing there. And then at the bottom, you have the Queen of Clubs, the Queen of Diamonds, and the Queen of Spades.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is each suit going to have a different look to them?
Oh, yes. You'll notice that the Queen of, if you go ahead and scroll back up a little bit, let's
right
see
here.
This one right here. Yeah. If you look to the left there, you'll notice the Queen of Hearts has the traditional garb. But when we decided to, in this scene, do, where the other three queens first appear, I said, let's do something a little more alluring. And we went with more traditional superhero costumes. The one in the middle, the Queen of Diamonds, this was kind of I think it was actually a Robin costume, Halloween costume that we kind of modeled it on. She's got the short skirt there, and she actually does have a cape. I think the blue coloring kind of overtook it, but if you look closely, she does have a cape in the back. And then the other, the white body suit for the Queen of Spades, and the thigh highs for the Queen of Clubs. So yeah, and let's see what else. We have the King of Spades spades and the jack of spades, they're right above there. The king of spades, you'll notice, has a cape and a spade in the middle. That was just based very basically on Superman. The jack of spades, you can't really, obviously you can't see it from there. That's who he's talking to. He has 3 spades on each side going down, and each spade gets a little smaller than the last, like Thor's costume. Just instead of the circles, he has the spades. So, yeah, they're all definitely going to have very unique costumes.
Right.
Just the hearts, we decided to do pretty much traditional garb there, and
I just think that's a really cool idea. And there's a
that is the pinup done by Lenore. And when she told me her idea with this, I was like, yeah, run with that, please. It was basically, she had kind of she said it was going to be sort of a horror motif with the pick a card, any card. And Jennifer's holding up the cards and kind of hiding her face like something's up, maybe just a tad sinister. And then you've got the kings, queens, and jacks in the background, but they look like these phantoms or ghosts. And I like it because this is more action drama comic, and she took it in the direction of horror here. So it's nice to have the pinup go in a slightly different genre direction, I guess.
Right. Okay. And then we got,
this is for the this is the other one of the add-ons you can get, and this is going to be on the back of a deck of cards, 54 card poker deck. And this was drawn by my artist Marcos Lima. It was colored by Lenore, and she did. I particularly like the dress. the light that she has there just really makes it look like genuine satin.
Very clingy. And
oh yeah, very nice. And then a woman by the name of Emma Longfellow did the lettering, and we're probably going to have to adjust the bottom, which says that is justice or revenge in the cards. Justice versus revenge will be kind of a theme that pops up here and there in this series. But Lenore shrunk it down to a standard card size, 2.5 by 3.5, and it just, the bottom gets fuzzy. So we're probably gonna have to break it into 2 lines and expand the font some, so that when you get the card, you can actually you have to stick it right up to your nose to read it. So
kind of put maybe this on top, and then at the bottom.
Yeah, justice or revenge, ... and then in the bottom in the cards, ... ellipsis dot.
It's justice or revenge, ... in the cards.
Yeah, that's probably what we're thinking. But
so
did not have a chance to do that before the campaign began. So,
hey, Mike, what do you think of this?
Are you asking?
Oh God! Fucking
He was so busy from the last picture, and you interrupted him, and now.
Yeah, well, hey, remember, dude, you should get this perk because there are 54 of these. If you lose one, you got another 53. So hey.
Hail graded 0.5. Hail Hatch.
Hail. Why don't you go up to the if you don't mind going up to the perks, and I can talk about the costs and stuff like that. The full house here is just 2 physical copies. You get one with the standard cover, one with the variant cover, and plus the PDF as well. That's for $20. And the add-ons, the pinup and the deck of cards, those get cheaper. The more expensive the perk gets. So this one, if you add on another $10, you will get both the cards and the pinup. Then it's just one pair is a PDF, which is that's only $4. The other 2 are going to be 2 pair and 3 of a kind. 2 pair is just the standard cover and PDF, and that's $13. And I think it's a total of like 25 if at that level if you add on the pinup and the deck of cards. Variant cover, same price. That's just call that 3 of a kind. And then the next one below that is actually just full house. It's the same as the full house above. It's just that people started buying the full house before I got a chance to change the image. So I don't know. I wanted to use the covers. I didn't get the idea to use the covers until actually after I'd posted stuff and people started buying. And it's like, you kind of want the perk with the most backers so far at your top, I think, to get people to say, hey, this is a good one. So, so you can really get the full smash here for only the 2 comics, the variant, standard cover, the PDF, and both a deck of cards and a pinup. By the way, the comics will be signed by me. The pinup will be signed by Lenore. All of that for $30, and it's a 32-page comic. I think you'll have a hard time finding a better deal out there. You can. I'm sure you can, but you're going to have to look. I think that's priced pretty good. Okay, the last 3 tiers are ones where you can get drawn into the comic book. First one is just Be a Thug. That was a simple way to call it. You're basically one of the guards for Johnny Ricca, the head mobster. The issue 2, you're going to get drawn into issue 2, and issue 2, there's going to pretty much be a slaughter of most of the mobsters. There's going to be 2 guards kind of at the front of his house, and if you choose this, you'll be drawn as one of those guards. You'll be drawn into one page, and then you'll have the option of either being stabbed in the back or having your throat slashed. And the first person that chooses this will get to choose the option there, which one they want. Plus, you get all the other perks, the 2 comics, the PDF, the deck of cards, then the pinup with all this.
Right.
The next one is going to be Johnny Ricca's Bodyguard. That is a straight flush, and you're going to get drawn. You'll basically be Johnny Ricca's bodyguard. You'll be drawn into at least 2 pages, and you will have the opportunity to kill some of the other characters before you have a dagger thrown into your eye. And that will be your gruesome death. And again, the comics, the PDF, the pinup, the deck of cards all come with that. And then the final one here, and I hope you can switch over to my share screen here in just a second, because that one has already been taken, and I actually have permission from the person who bought it to reveal who it is, which, just to let all your viewers know, I keep everything like that confidential. You don't have to worry. This was just kind of a special case. I don't reveal anyone who is a customer. As far as I'm concerned, you are entitled to confidentiality if you purchase my comic, and I'm going to adhere to that, shall we say, vigorously. Let's see. I think was it smaller files? Okay, it was the commercial. Hang on here just a second. Okay. Yeah. All righty. Let me share the screen here. All righty.
And there you go.
Yeah, this is my brother Doug. He is the one who bought the very top tier. Thanks to him, I appreciate it. Now you may be saying, oh yeah, and the top tier gets there. They are the top tier is basically one of the mob hitmen, Jack Tessio. He's going to have a seedy friend who's a crack shot, and that's who gets you're going to be drawn into 3 pages, and your gruesome death will be getting your head chopped off from the nose up. So now you may be saying, how can this cutie be? How could I possibly chop his head from the nose, chop it off from the nose up? And how could, in fact, I'm going to actually enjoy it. And you may be saying, how could you do that, you brute? Well, you'll change your mind when you see that picture of him.
Oh.
Wow.
So now you don't feel so bad.
Sick.
So yeah, I appreciate the fact that he bought it. I'm just going to and hey, the other thing is, when I was 10 and he was 7, he stole my Batman comic books. I know he did it, so I'm not going to feel bad. I'm going to enjoy chopping his head off.
That's hilarious.
Kind of just working through some problems there, guy.
Yeah, you got some stuff we need to talk about. We're at Graded Point 5. We're here to help. And,
well, I do have this rash. Oh wait, not those problems. Sorry, never mind.
Well, then, we offer an assortment of creams.
The Canadian U.S. the Canadian independent healthcare shit crap going on. Universal healthcare, something.
Yeah.
They got something.
Yeah,
I don't know if it works.
I mean, I don't think the man's Canadian. I don't know why you're trying to send him up there.
No, I would not go to Canada's healthcare system. No, thank you.
I mean, I saw him when he stand up for a moment. He had a Redskins shirt on, so I'm assuming he's American.
Yeah, I live. I was born in California, raised there, lived in the Midwest for 11 years, and now I've lived in the DC area for the last almost 16 years now. So,
Okay.
and yeah, I actually used to do healthcare policy and study healthcare systems, and I wouldn't send. In fact, Canadians, if anything, they tend to send some of their sickest people down here because
because we can't handle it up here. We seriously can't handle certain things.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got I don't know who am I talking to, Evil Bob or Xavier?
Evil Bob.
Evil Bob. Okay. And yeah, I mean, well, I mean, I don't have to tell you that the sickest people often end up on wait lists for treatment. So yeah.
It's up to 6
You have private businesses up there that actually go out and find places to get them, for a fee, will find you a place to get treated in places like the US. So
it's like, if you want health care, go to Canada. If you want to live, stay in America.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Let's see.
How about some questions?
Yeah, let's see. You shouldn't have set the release of Peregrine campaign tomorrow. Then I have no spare money till Friday. Well, guess what? Just because we launch tomorrow doesn't mean
it ain't gonna be here.
It won't be here Friday. That's how things work. Just like your campaign, it's not just gonna disappear overnight. It'll be here.
I'm looking forward to Peregrine. So
yeah, I think we're gonna have fun with that. But this is about Tilt. And the reason
what questions do you guys have?
I have one question, and I understand why you did it, because it's it has to do with gambling, poker, all that good stuff. But Mike has a brother.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm glad you're saying it.
Yeah. And when we made when I was talking about we're gonna have you on, and your name of your book is Tilt, and he literally said, "You're kidding, right?" Because he has been on like what would you say, about 8-month campaign about people not going, quote, full tilt.
Yep.
And when he says tilt, that means they get angry online.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that. He said they're tilting, kind of thing. And
that's what I keep thinking of every time I hear the book's name. I keep thinking of him too.
So you got to realize, among us friends, we're all kind of in that mentality that tilt means somebody's getting mad online. So, but and like I said, now that hearing you, especially last week, and then hearing it again, I understand why you're calling it tilt.
Yeah,
and that doesn't mean like you're losing your freaking head because somebody.
Well, some of them are going to lose their head. Let me.
Well, yeah.
No, it's not because it is, like I said, a very emotional character arc, and it's not only do some of the characters definitely going to lose their head in this comic, but it's certainly possible to lose your head, and when I mentioned that, eventually she'll start getting off on the adrenaline rush on it, there is actually there's two basic types of tilt. There's negative tilt, where you get angry, upset, that sort of thing. There's also positive tilt, where things are going so well for you, you're riding such an emotional high that you start playing a few hands that you shouldn't, and a little something goes wrong, not a major thing necessarily, but a little something, and you're suddenly on this high and you crash very, very hard. So there's two types of tilt, and we're going to explore that one maybe in the next series a little bit, where you're riding emotionally a little too high, and then bam. So, but does she keep a Joker in her deck? Yeah, that is something I've certainly considered. That's a really good question. I've certainly considered.
I was too, actually. Yeah.
Well, not in this series, because it's my first effort, and your first effort is I at least have tried to follow the KISS principle, right? Keep it simple, stupid, and I'm already, trying to figure out what are the rules, like she has to use the cards to kill the mobsters or they won't protect her. She can use the other cards, but she has to think of something that's related to them. There's going to be the characters the cards actually can die. What happens is, in fact, one of them will die in this episode. And what happens is they turn back into a card, but the card is broken in half. Now, there will be a way that she will be able to restore those cards so that she can use them again. I'm kind of working on that. I think I've got it pretty well worked out, what it's going to be. I don't want to reveal too much of the plot at this point, but and I don't want to have to change it, say something and box myself in and have to explain why I changed it later on. But at this point, I haven't fully decided what I want if I want the Jokers to come into play, exactly what I want them to be, whether
I have an idea that you could use. You could take it or you can leave it. Just
Fire
like a Joker's Wild.
Yeah.
That's, essentially Joker is any card she needs at that moment. And you can sit there and say, if one card is destroyed, you say Joker's Wild, boom. So as the Joker becomes that card.
Yeah, have it like you have two Joker characters that are basically like playing pretend for the other characters if they want, if they need them.
But you could also say it because that could break it or break the system you have going on. I would say like you can only use one Joker once.
Well, that has potential. I mean, it's certainly with the ideas that have been kind of bouncing around in my head for the second series. It might be something along you can use the Jokers, but they are wild cards, and there will be a more specific cost to using them, but you don't know what that cost is going to be.
Right.
Hence the wild card. So I'm big on you do something and even if it's a good thing, it will have a cost. I'm really big on that. And that's really what I want reflected in my stories. So be a fear card because there's a chance she could take splash damage. Not a reason to use it.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. But
no, I like those. Those are interesting ideas.
Yeah,
and,
they use it. They do the thing once, and then they run off, and then she has to fucking capture them.
That'd be hilarious. Like she's like, oh shit, now I got to go capture the Joker card.
I appreciate you keeping it simple to just the main 52 cards. Oh, because at least first time around, because then you got to bring in the Jokers, then you got to bring in the rules for Texas Hold'em card that's in every deck.
Yeah, so. No, but I, once we establish the main rules, then there's going to be some room to, kind of, I don't know, for lack of a better term, go off on tangents. And certainly, I've been thinking about what to do with the Jokers, and actually glad to hear some ideas because I haven't really settled on anything yet. So I appreciate it.
I really, for one of your books, I want your main character to be holding her deck like that, and when the people come in, she said, "I see you fell for my trap." Like a Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
Yeah. So what are you going to do now? Lay this card face down.
Well, if you scroll down on the page here,
Did he do it?
Wait a minute. No. Actually, is it on this page? No, I haven't put it up on this page yet. I'll share the. Give me just a second here. Yeah, here we go. Okay.
While you're doing that, I'm just looking at this art.
Lay down a face down. Get your game on.
Here we go.
All right. Oh.
Well, a little bit. Yeah, this is basically the green dress here she's going to be wearing, and this is the second hit on the mobsters that they do, and that's going to lead to the use of the rocket launchers and the exploding car. But basically, she is dressing up this way because they know one of the mobsters really has a thing for younger women, and so she's enticing them into a trap. So yeah, so there's some of that going on. She's not going to be quite that blatant, but
Yeah.
there is the idea there in book one.
Mm-hmm.
And it will not be the last time. In fact, book 2 is really going to take that concept and crank it up to, I don't know, what's beyond 11, 12, 13, 17. So
I don't know. Spinal Tap never told us.
yeah.
Remember, the doctor always had 12 incarnations until he needed more.
Yeah.
So yeah, then they fucked it up. Maybe it's one of those things where it's like, maybe 12 is the limit because anything after that, you're just going to fuck it up and hurt yourself.
Yeah.
I tell you, I mean, it's like Doctor Who. It's like Star Wars. Said, hey, after not the last one, but the one in the middle that Rian Johnson directed. Sorry.
Last Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah, the Last Jedi. They're like, you can't fuck up a good series anymore. The Doctor Who people are like, hold our beer.
Right. That yeah, I don't get people. It's like you took something that was. It's kind of like, you ever watched Talladega Nights?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember that line where the girl, his new girlfriend was doing this story about what the cougar represented and blah blah blah, this and that and the other, and then one of his crew guys said, "We're like the Knights of the Round Table, and she's Guinevere," and he started talking like that, and then Ricky Bobby goes like, "Everything she just said, you wrecked it." So
We had a cool thing happening for like 2 seconds, and then you came along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking hell, they're playing to fuck up The Boys season 2. I loved season 1. I mean, that's the thing, man. Hollywood's gonna change. They do that.
Hollywood gonna Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I'm just liking this. I'm gonna leave your art up there because that's just surprised Mike hasn't probably seen it yet. So
Yeah, what? Let me go see.
yeah, go check this art out.
Oh, God damn it! It's right there. Fuck.
He likes thick ladies. That's he like a nice and thick.
I mean, the woman wearing the dress on the left hand pretty good too, but God damn it, look at her.
Whatever one was coming. Well, yeah. Let's see. But yeah,
I'm up to 1081, so I'm only 19 away from from 1100. Thank you, whoever that was. I do appreciate it.
Yes,
really do appreciate it. You'll be receiving a thank you email once I'm off the show. So
right.
Hey,
so you got $20.
Little hit of dopamine.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, do it.
I can actually scroll. Oh, well, I don't know. May not want to go off this image, but let me. Well, actually, hang on here. Okay, how about that? How's that?
Let's see what you got. Oh, yeah, that'll work because that was like kind of where I was at on mine anyway.
Yeah, that's
really cool.
Yeah, this is a scene where she's going to. Damn, I like this show. You guys, I hope you guys invite me back. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of our buddies. He's just messing around.
That's awesome.
Like,
yeah.
Mike's taking a nap right now. He's muted.
This is where they have just gotten the information on all the people that were involved in her dad's murder, and the Queen is saying that okay, we'll need Rachel, Argine, and Palace for this, and then she says, sorry, the Queen of Diamonds, Clubs, and Spades. And so Jennifer throws him out, and then they come forward. And the dialogue here will be the Queen of Hearts will be saying, welcome, ladies, time for some reconnaissance. And so they're gonna go out and try to find out when the mobsters are most vulnerable to attack. And Jennifer's over here going, you're not going to go out dressed like that, are you? So, yeah. And The actual names of the and apparently this is the actual queens and all the characters in a deck of cards were actually designed based on real people. The queen's heart is Judith. The Queen of Clubs is going to be Rachel. The Queen of Diamonds will be Argine, and the I believe the Queen of Spades is Pallas. So I don't exactly know who those people were historically, but each one actually does have is based on someone with a name. And the Jack of Hearts, his name was some French name like Le Hire, and she's like, "What?" And he says, "Call me Lee." So make it easy,
It's really cool when you find out like stuff about that. Just
Yeah.
random things that have a story behind them that you wouldn't suspect.
Yeah, I think one of the things I've liked about doing this piece is I've just, I said I got to do some more research on mobsters and what they're like, and that's fun. Watching lots of documentaries on mobsters and stuff like that. Yeah.
So they've also got that YouTube channel where they had a real mobster reacts to TV mobsters.
I've seen that thing popping up a bunch, and I have yet to actually watch it, but
big takeaway he says is that Joe Pesci nails it every time, probably because Joe Pesci grew up in that environment.
Very cool.
There are some scenes where in real life Joe Pesci would have just knocked this guy out, not talked to him. But everything else he nails is perfect.
Well, it's about time.
Oh, did someone just get me?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Hey.
I did that.
Once again, hail to the Kingmakers. That is the Great 8.5 chat. Hail you guys.
Thank you, Optimus. That's really nice of you. Thank you.
Yeah, I was looking at. I mean, your tiers are they're priced great. Your add-ons are priced great. So I was like, yeah, I can back this.
Awesome.
Probably the last thing I back until our campaign's over.
Hey, no, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I really do.
But yeah, like I said, I like the concept. I like the idea. I love the art's great. And plus, is not only I consider I'm starting to consider you a friend because we're having fun. And Lenore's our friend too, so I'm trying to help her out.
Yeah,
so
I would love to see her on some more books.
Yeah, she's a talented young lady. So
she is, and as I say, if I get funded here, she'll get a little bump in her page rate. So will everyone if I make this. This is I shouldn't have too much trouble funding the shipping or the printing, and I'll still even at 3,000, I'll still have some left over to start funding. Issue 2, and I'm hoping a little bit before, actually about maybe 3 weeks before the campaign is over, I'm going to have Jordy start on the cover for issue 2, so it'll actually be on the back. You'll see what the issue 2 cover.
Yeah.
It'll be on the back of the cover of issue 1, and it'll say coming soon. So and it will be definitely. I've already got the idea in my head exactly what I want it to look, and if you're I'll give you. Gosh, how much? Hell, I'll give a hint. If you're familiar with Steven Seagal movies, you'll have an idea of what she's going to be doing on the cover of issue 2.
Oh, nice.
So. How do you feel about Steven Seagal movies that only have 3-word titles?
This one actually that I'm thinking of only has a 2-word title, so and it's probably his best film. So I'm really giving it away there. I think you can probably narrow it down.
Under Siege, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We have there's a channel. Well, I say it's a channel. It's been several channels because they keep getting taken down by the YouTube gremlins. Botchamania, right? And there was a time where there was a wrestler named Ryback, right? And so because Ryback, and he was known for botching a lot of his matches. He would do something that would hurt the guy, or he would do something that was stupid, and it looked like crap. So whenever they did, if you remember Under Siege 2, the one that was on the train.
Never watched that. Didn't want to spoil Under Siege 1.
But anyway, so his name was right. Of course, the main character is Casey Ryback. That's his name.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this port where they so he plays this whenever there's a Ryback botch coming up because the guy goes like, Ryback just killed everybody on the train car, and like the main bad guy goes, Ryback.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he almost killed CM Punk. Yeah, that was the thing that happened. Quick on that story is apparently Ryback did something stupid, dumped the dude right on his head, right? So he didn't protect him at all. Well, okay, he said, I didn't think about it. I just kind of ignored it, a little bit, even though I got dumped on my damn head. He said, go out the next night, do the same spot, dumped on my head again. He said, okay, something's not going here. He said, go out the next night, third time, dumped on his head again. He goes, all right. So he went to the back. He said, look, you've done this 3 times already. Either you're doing it on purpose or you're dumb as shit. Or you're dumb as fuck. And he said, dude put his head down. He's like, I'm dumb as fuck.
Shit.
Yeah, I like that. That would have been a pretty good name under Siege Harder. Hey, you remember that time Steven Seagal he was like he was doing some shit, trying to say Russia's cool.
I remember the thing he did with the police, that reality
I remember
show. And
that.
it's like, I'm like, man, I never even watched an episode. I'm just like, man, this thing's going to be a disaster before he starts. What I did watch for about 10 minutes was they did a quick ripoff of the Clint Eastwood movie, American Sniper. That was I watched like 10 minutes of it, and I'm like, the minute I see Steven Seagal walking down the middle holding the gun trying to look cool, I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this. I can't take this anymore. It's too much.
But yeah, that reality show you're talking about, he says, what people don't know about Steven Seagal is for the past 20 years he has been a deputy sheriff for the in a Louisiana town, blah blah blah.
And guess what? I don't know, and I don't care.
Yeah, right. It's like Doc needs elevator pitch to quickly sell new people. That was missed at the beginning. Shilling 101. So, do you have an elevator pitch?
I don't even know what that is. I am sorry to say.
The elevator pitch is basically
my ignorance.
1 or 2 sentences that tells you, gives you the quick and dirty about the book.
Do you like 20 seconds?
Yeah, it's like 20 seconds. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
So.
I actually did. Well, I think I gave it to you in 20 seconds at the beginning. So I'm not saying my pitch shouldn't be better, but
we could roll it one more
time. Coming in late.
Yeah, for the people coming in late, so they can. Yeah.
Alrighty. Let me give it to you again. Basically, this is the main character here is Jennifer Poehler. Her dad Larry gets murdered by mobsters, and in the afterlife, the mobsters are now out to get her as well. And in the afterlife, her dad asks a very powerful spirit to protect her. Spirit gives her the ability to make the kings, queens, and jacks in a deck of cards come alive. They are there to protect her, but it comes with a price. She has to use those to eliminate the mobsters, and that's basically going to be her story, trying to get her character arc. She's going to go from being very emotional, pee in the pants, throw up the first time she has to do it, to eventually getting enjoying the adrenaline rush that comes along with this. And the unique thing here is, and as far as I know, no one's ever done it, is to actually make the characters in the deck of cards come alive, and they are not going to emotionally validate each other. In fact, you'll see them argue and bicker, and some of them are going to argue with Jennifer as well, because they're not going to like the way she does things at times. So there's going to be a lot of tension, a lot of conflict there, a lot of non-approved body type, a lot of good violence, and I'm trying to keep the plot as tight and as logical as I can.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep, that works. I'll tell you what we'll do. So, that's a good question, because that's the
Yep.
That's the thing. It's, as my friend Jeremy Lott says, sometimes revenge is just. But that's something that she's actually going to wrestle with in some in parts of issue 2 and issue 3. Is this revenge? Is this justice? How can she justify it to herself? And I'm not sure. I think I'm going to eventually, we'll ponder it, but we're probably going to leave that question open because I'm not sure there's really an easy answer to that kind of question.
It's kind of like you kind of chalk it up to the Punisher. You remember he says, "Is it vengeance? No, punishment."
Yeah.
Because he's looking at it like I'm not seeking revenge. I'm seeking giving them the punishment they never got. There's a good question. Do the suits or face values have any reference to their abilities?
Basically, they have basically for the kings and jacks, the weapons that they have in the on the card is the weapon that they will get to use. So the 3 of the kings have swords. One of them has an axe. 2 of the jacks have an axe, and others are holding things that kind of look like clubs. And so those will be their weapons. The queens don't really have weapons, but I'm going to be giving them some anyways. One will be particularly proficient with daggers. The non-face cards, Jennifer can use those if she thinks about them and something related to that particular card and throws them. For example, you'll see you're holding up a pair of aces here. There's going to be a scene where basically they've killed a couple of mobsters, but the main one is getting away. He's trying to escape in an SUV. The Jack of Hearts is telling Jennifer, we need to get out of here now. And she's like, no, wait a minute. Let's see what we can do with this pair of pocket rockets. She tosses them at the Jack. They become, and what she's thinking of is actual rocket launchers. And basically, that's how she can use the other cards, and of course, the rocket launchers then get used to blow up the car. And for example, one of the main head mobster, Johnny Ricca, is a definite germaphobe, and that gives me some very interesting ways that we can use the deuces in the deck of cards. No, we have 2 yogurt. Sorry.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the toddler woke up. But you want to come over here and say hi real quick? Okay, come here, big guy.
Well, let's get we got to do it right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey,
hi,
buddy.
wave.
Hey, dude.
Yeah, bud.
How you doing?
He's
He's
drinking. He ain't paying us no mind.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, bud.
Big man getting a big sip.
Yeah.
Yep. Our physical copy signed. I think we
Yes,
said
they are. Yes,
Yep,
they are. Physical copy signed, and I'm going to have Lenore King, who did the pinup. She will be signing the pinups as well.
Nice.
Sweet.
He's adorbs.
Yes.
Piper's like, I remember when mine was that young, and now he's a jerk. Oh, she'll tell you straight up. Yeah, your son's a jerk.
Cherish the terrible 2s because the teenage years. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've been told.
Yeah.
I remember my teenage years. I don't know why my parents didn't shoot me.
I'm gonna pull. What was that thing we saw on the memory TV back in the day, boys? It's like of Iman like giving a sermon. He goes like, "How do you stop this behavior? Beatings."
Oh yeah.
Nah, we don't want nobody beating their children.
I was worried the day Potato became a teenager, but then he became like the most mellow teenager ever. I'm like,
dang it,
you gonna do something? you kind of just sit there mellow and cool, just play PlayStation all day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
there you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
if he's staying out of trouble, hey,
there you go.
He does stay out of trouble.
Well, I hope that you yes, thank you, Hatch. I would really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
If you back
that's a because like I said, we're kind of hitting up against let's be honest, we're getting into a kind of a rough period right now.
Oh yeah,
but,
we're a big economic dip, unfortunately. So
yeah,
no, if anyone who can back, in general, the fact that somebody thinks enough of my project to give me their money, which represents their hard work, their value that they're providing to someone else, and that they're going to give it to me. I consider that, I don't want to quite say sacred, but I consider it pretty close to that. And especially in a time like this, it's really, I can't tell you how, I can barely tell you how
it means that much more now that it's,
that they're still willing to, as I say, take a chance on you.
Hold on a second here. What you saying, big guy?
Is Tony in there?
Is Tony in that Iron Man thing? Well, presumably he is. That looks like Tony's Iron Man armor. My guess would be yes. I mean, that's not the fake Iron person. What's his? Yeah. No, he this kid already knows. He's like, I was showing him an Iron Man comic, and it had Arno Stark in there, and he's like, "Where's Tony? Where's Tony? Where's Tony?" And oh man, so
refresh.
Oh, you just backed the two. Oh, thank you. Awesome.
Let's check this out. Oh, it hasn't. It's got the backer, but not the. Ain't quite.
Yeah, I've noticed it sometimes takes the dollar amount a minute to catch up. The backer comes first, because when you had backed it at 21, I'm like, wait, that's 2 more backers that I've got now, and we're only at where we were with 20. So yeah, it'll take a minute. But no, thank you, sir. Thank you, Tech TF. I really do appreciate it. So, and thank you, Charles. I think you suckered him into it. No. I mean, that's how I used to, when he was a little bit younger, it's how I used to get him to brush his teeth. I would reward him with a little bit of Iron Man movie or a little bit of Hulk, and he took to those real quickly. And then let's see, it was Iron Man, Hulk, a little bit of Batman, then back to Iron Man, now on to Spider-Man. So we just finished Batman Superman 7, which had art that I think was actually more appropriate to a kid than adults, but there is some disagreement on whether that's good art, so I'm not gonna.
If you're running through the Batman animated series,
we are, and we shouldn't eat a bag of it. Well, yeah, the pre-effed ones. I actually prefer mine post-effed, but God, no way. I can't imagine ever saying that to someone who's gonna fork over their dollars to you. I mean,
right? Yeah,
it's. Dollars. I don't know. I think that kind of attitude looks at. Hey, say bye real quick.
Bye.
Hi, buddy.
Oh,
Okay,
bye.
Bye.
Small.
I'm waving like he can see me.
I've been waving at my screen too.
I waved.
And I don't know. I think people, and it's not just SJWs. I think you look at money like this. They just look at it as paper stuff. It just represents greed. Money doesn't represent that, man. It means that you've gone out and given something to your fellow human being, that a service or a good. That's what it generally means. That they've appreciated, and now they're giving it to you. And someone said, "Hey, I like your good or service," and and now that person's saying, "I like your good or service," and they're giving it to you. It's just, it represents value, and it's just, I think it's great. I mean, I'm glad I'm full on believe in capitalism. I'm so glad that we have a system of free exchange, and I just, anyone who backs my comic, that's what it means to me, and I'm so appreciative. So. Yeah. Thank you so much.
And Hatch, I guess he went ahead with it because he says, the kid knowing Tony and only Tony is Iron Man did it for me.
At the end of the day, man, you're living my dream, and I hope to be living that dream starting tomorrow, which is I just want to come up with cool ideas and get paid for it.
There you go. Well, I am going to, as soon as I can, I'm going to back Pure Grain.
You got some more. Yeah, you got some 1154 right now.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say that means that Hatch and Tech both backed like right after each other.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, Tech says he backed in Canadian, so it'll be worthless.
Not that bad, actually. But
the exchange rate's gotten a little better.
I actually played in the World Poker Tour up in Montreal about a year and a half ago, and I think the think it was like $1.37 or something. I mean, it was right around there, what the exchange rate was. And, the Bank of Canada, the central bank would set the rate. And then, oh, guys, you're about to get a treat here. He went and changed his shirt, and look what he changed it into.
Uh-oh, let me see.
Spider-Man. That's whatever Spider-Man can.
He knows how to get attention.
Mhm.
Look at him at any size. Look, he's got some real brown eyes.
See, here's how you
Oh,
positively
Spider-Man.
exploit your children. Hope Smiller could take a couple of notes from this.
Yeah, don't burn books in front of your kid.
God, don't do that. Yes.
Yeah. That's a bad precedent, I think. But yeah, no, like I said, customer care, customer service, that has to be paramount. I think a lot of, just from the mainstream people, I think a lot of them are just so disconnected from it because they've been basically shielded from it for how many years?
Mhm.
They don't have to worry about it. The publisher
No,
takes care of everything.
it's not only that. I mean, it's just, I think it's kind of your.
Dinosaur.
Oh yeah, he does have a dinosaur as his avatar. You like that? Yeah. And
What about this one?
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you properly pronounce peregrine? Is it peregrine?
Peregrine, the Peregrine Falcon.
Peregrine.
Like the Peregrine Falcon, yeah.
Peregrine. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just it's probably also artistic types. I mean, a lot of us are kind of weird people, as I sometimes like to say. The biggest problem with art is artists, and and so custom. When you think of artists, you don't think of the guy out there trying to sell you a car.
Yeah.
And so customer relations, just their personality, and it's just not going to be particularly good at it. And it's something that, when you would hope that someone takes them into the industry these days, they say, hey, we're not always great at appreciating customers. You need to learn how to do that. And I'm guessing, oh yes, absolutely. I had to bring the kid on. It was all planned. I had it timed so he would wake up from his from his sleep at the right time. So
yeah.
But I don't think anyone in the industry is really doing that. So, and those of us in Comicsgate, of course, we are very much emphasizing that. So anyone who becomes Comicsgate is going to probably get hit with that a couple of times. And I suspect that anyone who joins Comicsgate is already that way, is concerned about the customer. And why? Because, it's an, you might say, if you want to use technical terms, an inefficiency in the market.
Yeah.
The other big guys are not appreciating the economy, the customer enough. And we're like, hey, there's an inefficiency here we can, well, for lack of a better term, exploit. And hell, we're going to do it. I know I am. I know you guys are. I know, you get good customer service from Zach and from Ethan and just everyone, I mean, Jeremy has a story of, I'm trying to remember the name of the comic, but basically he got it. It had a little bend in it. And Jeremy's like, no, it's perfectly fine. And the woman's like, absolutely not. You're going to get a good standard copy. And Jeremy was insistent, like, no, it's fine. She's like, no, I'm sending you, that's the type of customer service that you're going to get, Yeah,
I remember, I think Zach had that situation with Jawbreakers. First one, whereas, somebody said, hey, Zach, got it in, let you know that there was a, crinkle on the, on the top, ding on this, that, and the other. And they said, just letting you know, but I love the book. And he says, he contacted him and says, what's your information? I'm going to send you another one immediately.
Nice.
But Zach made a good point. I forgot what video it was in, but he made a good point that it was this basically, I said, I never heard that heard that particular story. I said, but it makes sense. This all started like this downfall for comics. We always try to point, we try to put a number on like 2012, 2014. It really started getting bad, but it really started when one day Dan Slott on social media decided to tell a fan F you, basically saying that, fans don't matter, and then you have like, was it Ron Mars talking about, well, I don't have to worry about, what you call it. I don't have to worry about fans. I don't have to worry about, because I work for the publisher and then the publisher sells it to the comic book store. So the comic book store is, that's the person you have to deal with. That's where. Can
you imagine the folks who run Walmart telling their checkout people, you don't have to worry about the customers because you work for me. I mean,
Yeah, you can tell the customers to go fuck themselves all day long. Like,
yeah, 'cause you work for us. You know, it's like, what the hell? You know, it's like, and again, I mean, you know, someone needs to pull these people aside and say, look, you know, you don't have to necessarily like the customers, but at least pretend that you like them. You know, that's all you got to do. You know, it's not, you know, tell them that you're appreciated, because without them, you know, there's no what you do. You're going to be out having another job. You're not going to get to do the fun stuff of the art and creating all these stories and stuff like that. You know,
I forgot who made the post today. It said Ron Mars a week ago. We don't need to we don't need to worry about customer service. Ron Mars today, please buy my Kickstarter.
Oh boy.
It's kind of one of those things where the customer is always right, except when they're not, because sometimes the customer wants some bad things that aren't good.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
that happens, and that does happen.
I mean, the customer's always right. It's a generality, not an absolute.
Yeah, right.
It's you know, you're generally best taking it as very close to an absolute, but obviously, you know,
I prefer taking the Roadhouse approach, which is, you know, you got to be nice.
Yeah,
and you got to be nice.
You can expect your waitress to bring your food and be pleasant with you. That does not mean you get to, you know, pinch her in the behind. Okay,
yeah, as I said, you got to be nice until it's time.
There you go.
Not be nice.
That's why.
Hang on just a second. I want to go see if I can handle the going to bed here. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem.
That's why I appreciate retail people more treating their customers as guests and not customers nowadays.
Yeah.
Because that mentality of the customer is always right has just made retail and tech support just the most miserable thing on the fucking planet. Like with Bray's job, he's allowed, if he gets insulted, he's allowed to hang up on them. That's the best fucking thing that I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
I have to give them a verbal warning, then I can hang up on them, and then I have to write up an incident report.
Dude, I just hold on a second, if I may. I'm gonna verify that I can say something.
Okay, we're good.
Give me just a minute. But are you back now?
Yes. 1 second. I'm sorry. What do you? Okay, I'll get you some of that in a minute. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, we were just talking about customer service.
Yeah.
But I think eventually Marvel got wind of part of the problem when there was finally enough data that goes, every time one of these artists or writers wilds out on Twitter, there's a extremely noticeable dip in their sales, and not just the usual dips.
Yeah.
Because eventually somebody did start cracking down on him, and they did stop. But it was one of those things where it didn't really change who they were. They were just less vocal about it. And given the opportunity, they would still run their mouths.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, I'm, you know, if you're going to be on Twitter, you're going to get some people that are just going to be utter jerks to you. But, you know, you don't have to, you know, use a term like pre-F bag of, you know, you could use something with you could use a little bit of humor. You could just say, I'm very sorry you feel that way, and leave it at that. You know, in a lot of those cases, it's just best to say, you know, probably best to say, I'm very sorry you feel that way, and leave it at that. You know, because once you throw back with, you know, eat a bag of pre-FDs, you know, you've now told, you know, you've kind of told the guy that he's gotten under your skin, and, you know, he has some power over you, if you want to look at it that way. And just saying, you know, I'm very sorry you feel that way is, you know, probably the just, you know, best response, you know.
Well, there's 7 billion people in the world. You don't have to like them all. Some of them are assholes. Some of them are bloodthirsty psychopaths. Some of them are just jerks, and you don't want to really need to be around them. And you can say that objectively without stepping on anyone's toes, because it's objectively true. You don't have to sit there and go, you and people like you are just assholes and jerks, and we don't need to be around you.
Right.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. And yeah, I don't get, just the other thing is I have to wonder what jobs have they had their whole life that they haven't, been in a customer service job, and learn some of these things, but
a lot of them are trust fund kids. I know that. And that's why communism tends to come easy for them.
That would explain a lot, Haven't had to work at Burger King for a summer or other jobs that you deal with customers. So,
I feel like everyone should have to work at a McDonald's for a summer, and pay to pay your dues.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone needs to pay your dues.
Yeah.
Because you'll learn a lot working at McDonald's once, and you don't ever want to work at McDonald's again.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter how down on your luck you are, McDonald's is always there. I mean,
there's a really good PragerU video about this young woman who's saying, the 4 years I worked at McDonald's while I was in college, I probably learned more than I did from actual college. And she goes through the various lessons, and it's a pretty good video. That and the other one I like. The other one I like, if you ever watch those things, is the one Mike Rowe does about not following your passion, but following opportunity and bring your passion along. That one's really good as well.
Yeah. It's actually really smart advice because you can just follow your passion and maybe you get there, maybe you won't, but you may not be able to support yourself. Like I grew up wanting to be a game designer, but not really sure that was what I was passionate about. I was doing everything I could, but then I got to college for it and I realized that to get to the part that I want to do, which is the world building and the story writing, I would have to get a bunch of stuff published before anyone would be willing to take a shot on me. Or I'd have to learn a bunch of stuff I don't want to do just to get it in. And even then I still may not get my opportunity.
Yeah.
And I kind of put myself in a corner there.
Well, and as he notes in that video, passion is also very fickle. I mean, you may go into something and be gung-ho for a couple of years, and then, your passion starts to fade. If you're doing something that's with opportunity and, brings in a lot of money, it's always, I think, easier to keep going and wait for, just get through the blah period and wait for the passion to come back. If, every 2 weeks or whatever, there's going to be dollar signs attached to what you're doing, I had an aunt who worked for various transit companies, and I don't think she ever really cared much for her job. I mean, she didn't hate it, but I don't ever remember being passionate, but it was, she made decent money, and that's pretty much what she cared about. And, I know I've got a brother who's in computers, and I think the passion left him a long time ago, but he's getting so well paid that he goes in, he does his job, and if you earn enough money, and as you get older, and you mature in the job, you get more vacation time. There's going to be time, and you've got tons of resources to go out and pursue various passions, So, that's I think that's such good advice. Try to follow opportunity versus passion. You can always bring your passion along later.
No, absolutely. I mean, I was a trucker before my current job, and one year I came very close to breaking into the $50,000 a year tax bracket. To which my account was like, "It's a damn good thing you stopped when you did." But I had almost no time to myself. And when I did have time to try and work on my various projects and interests, I was too tired. Most of the time I just went straight to bed. And that just became my life.
Yeah.
I stepped down from there. So I'm only doing like a little over 30,000, like 33,000 a year right now. But I have so much more time to work on this stuff. And now we are getting it out. And I'm really excited about that. But it's kind of a risk. It's kind of I'm sorry, I was going somewhere with that, and then I derailed myself, and now I don't know where I'm going.
Well, I think I can finish it up for you, right?
Thanks.
You're driving down the road in your big truck or whatever, and the whole time you got all these ideas in your head, and there's nothing, there's nothing you can do with it because you're always going to be driving on this road. There's no time to do anything else but to drive on this road, right? So now that you have the opportunity to put as they say, pencil to paper, make them real, as they say, and that's much more fulfilling, right? I mean, I think I've told the story here, but But one time I had this. Now I will preface this that every story that we're coming out with, Peregrine and Midnight Cowboy later on, these are not those ideas. I have had since I was in the 11th grade. I had this story that I was building. I had thousands and thousands and thousands of words written down. I had even had to the point where I had people drawing stuff for me to give me an idea of where I wanted it to look like and all that good stuff. Really coming together. And I'm at that point, I had been working on it from that till I was about 28, 29. So you're talking about from 17-year-olds old to about 29 years old. And one day, catastrophic hardware failure on my computer. It took out the hard drive. It took out the backup hard drive. Everything was gone. And that pretty much took me out of creativity stuff for about 7 or 8 years. That I just didn't care. I didn't want to do anything because it was kind of like, half my life's work gone.
Ouch. Ouch.
Yeah. But I've been quietly rebuilding since getting kind of back in the creative mood, in fact, I think it's better now because now I know what not to do, not to waste time with silly things. You know what I mean?
Also, early on, you set things in stone that shouldn't be set in stone because you could make them better later on. But at the time you needed something, I had that problem for a while. Because I have one of those projects that I worked on for 10 years, but I don't know if I still have the digital files, but I still have all the hard copies I printed out because I'm eccentric like that. And all my notebooks from high school that are fading because of the shitty lead in my mechanical pencil. A friend got me to try and pick those up again. Yep. I immediately started changing everything, and it did start turning out better.
Yeah.
Things that I never figured out but knew would be a part of it, all of a sudden I knew exactly how they needed to be. And I think part of that is just life experience.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think we've gone over our, what customer service is, what our creativity has spawned from all this and all that good stuff. So it might be time to wrap it up for tonight.
Sounds good. I've got to get my kid back to bed. So yeah, definitely getting to be time for me to wrap it up. So
yeah. So guys, thank y'all so much for showing up tonight. Please bookmark it if you haven't. And go back tilt when you guys have the funds to do so. I know I saw some people would just went ahead and bagged it tonight, even though they said they weren't going to. So that was good.
I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. And if I get a chance to come back here, I definitely will.
Yeah, we enjoyed your time with you. You're a good dude.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Your child is adorable. Yeah, and also, guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody else. The link to the Peregrine mailing list is still in the chat. You have a little over 23-ish hours to go sign up for the mailing list. If you do not sign up for the mailing list, you will miss special discounts.
I'm going to have to check yeah, but I better go check because I swear
the link for that discount only goes out once. Yep. You have been warned.
Okay.
So please check it out. And I will tell you right now, I'm working on something. It will debut at 6 a.m. And that will be basically your 16-hour warning. Because we will launch this puppy at 9 p.m. tomorrow night. So
woo!
All right. Well, good luck to you, and I will definitely be giving you some shout outs on Twitter and everything.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
And
people like you,
I'll say one thing on my YouTube show, Comics and Variety. I will talk about comics that I back and tell people a little bit about them. If you guys have like a little preview that I could take a quick look at just to get a sense of the comic, I'll be happy to do that. That's
being worked on right now.
please.
at this very moment. So,
all righty. Well, please do hit me up for that.
we will definitely pick you up. Thank you guys. Thank you for showing so much. Thank you, chat. If it wasn't, it's once and for all of y'all, we wouldn't be here in this position to get ready to do what we're going to do. My anxiety levels are through the roof right now. I'm literally going to go shave my head. So you guys, thank y'all so much for coming tonight. I know we had a small crowd, but we have a great crowd. That's what matters. We're going to try to. Everybody, tell your friends, tell your family. Tomorrow night, 9:00, we will be here, and I want as big a crowd as I can possibly get for this launch. And I want it to be a success, and we're going to roll tide, as they say. And I'm
Be
not from Alabama.
advised, our show starts at 8. We launch at 9.
Yeah, we will launch at 8. We start at 8. We launch at 9. You'll get an
Okay,
hour of our tomfoolery.
I will plan on being in the audience. So
I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much for showing up tonight. We will see you tomorrow night when we will be ready. Y'all have a good one, and take care of yourselves.
Well, thank you all very much. I appreciate it.